Hello and good morning.
Hi, is this Sarah?
Absolutely. Is this Michael?
It is.
Let's talk music, bud. How are you doing with that?
How am I doing with music?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just seems like every time I turn around and read something about you, you're always exploring. You're always discovering new things.
Well, you have to keep walking,
Oh, man, this new song, Big Bite, I'm telling you, this song has got something in it that says, hey, I want to listen to it over and over again.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear.
How did you bring it together? Because a song is like a miracle. It's something has got to happen in order for it to get from the beginning to the end.
Well, I start with that one, I had very clear ideas of, what was on my mind and how I was aiming it, it has pretty strong political content, and I had, I feel like, that's a delicate thing for approaching any political subject in a song. It's to have it be listenable more than once or twice, and have it is a chore. I mean,
Yeah.
but you build these things from the bottom. I start with the tune, and then I bring the band in, and we explore it. And then once I have the basics, it's a matter of painting the picture.
Speaking of pictures, the picture that goes with the song is, wow, that opens up your eyes and your heart because it makes a statement all its own.
Yeah, well, that was the point. I think we are in times where, stark realizations are kind of the order of the day. People have to acknowledge what we're involved in. And the fact that the tune rocks, I think, is, basically that's, content and the ability to move bodies is, to me, that's the formula.
It's almost like we've gone back to the days of the 1960s where we could say something political in songs. And that's what I think one of the reasons why I respect Big Bite is because it's there. Where can a listener get a better choice of to see what the society is all about than right there in the music?
Yeah, well, hopefully, as a songwriter, that's always the hope that somehow you hit the mark, that you communicate something as difficult, a subject as difficult as this, and still make it listenable. The fact that you think it's that you want to play it over and over again, that's the magic potential, I have to say.
Well, see, that's what I love about Alexa and any of the streaming is the fact that I can just listen to it immediately. But at the same time, I want listeners to support what you guys are doing with all of your swag and everything that comes with the band.
Swag. Oh, well, I'm not sure we have a whole lot of swag. I mean, you mean
Merch,
labeled tchotchkes or stuff like that?
Absolutely.
That's all in the glorious future.
There's a horn section in this. I was so attracted to that immediately when I heard those horns.
Yeah, well, that's the Etta James horn section. Richard Howell, the horn player in the band, he was playing with Etta James at the time, and he brought them in. I was hugely honored, I have to say. They're a bunch of cranky guys, but boy can they play.
What did you learn that was new on this particular project? When you say, yeah, it's a bunch of cranky guys, yeah, but you're still being creative.
Well, horn guys come in. Horn guys are different. A horn section. That's like, they're honed on military precision there, and not that the rest of the band isn't concerned with precision, but Richard, no, we're not. The bands aren't used to work. This band, at any rate, is not working with precisely notated parts, where you have four parts and they require everybody to play dead on. But what did I learn? I'm not sure. I mean, it's interesting. Richard has done a lot of the parts on the new album, and he did all the parts himself.
Hey, coming from that San Francisco area, and I mean, your studio, I mean, it's like, that's where FM radio was born, was in San Francisco. I mean, and that studio that you're in, I mean, my God, there's so much history involved there.
Yeah, I would agree completely. I mean, for the first several years we were here, I was in awe of it. It's receded. Its history has receded necessarily, just because it's that's a big weight to carry around all the time. But just to acknowledge. I mean, it basically sets standards for what we do, or what I do. And so, I mean, there's a challenge there if you choose to take it. And I've been trying for these long years to come up to those standards.
Do you find yourself feeling something from those walls? Because, I mean, even when Lenny Kravitz purchased the control board that the Beatles used at Apple, I mean, it's like, oh, my God, his music, I can hear the Beatles still roar inside those notes. Do you feel anything like that being in that studio?
It's funny about that board. That board, it made a couple-year way stop. Chris Solberg, who was a sometime band partner with my ex-partner, who was an equipment dealer, had that. We were housemates, and that board was in his bedroom.
Wow.
And so for a couple of years, I lived next to that board. But actually, when we had changed out the board in Studio D, it was the Trident that Queen did Night at the Opera on. Oh. That was in the living room, and that red board was in Chris's bedroom. There wasn't much furniture.
See, those are the stories that music fans don't get to hear unless we sit down and have a conversation.
Sure.
Wow. I want to talk about the song Brighter Day. This song right here has some summer-esque about it. It's almost like that California sound is going to enlighten people around the nation and hopefully around the globe.
One would hope, I mean, that song has that's a central message for me right now. And I feel like to name them who they are, the Republican opposition has basically declared that American society is doomed, and we're all, everything is terrible, and let's hand it over to Mr. Trump. And things are wonderful compared to, for the world to have come out of a worldwide pandemic. Yeah. That was just a few years ago. And, it felt like the end of the world. And we managed to pull ourselves out. And now, we have a serviceable economy. Things, none of the disaster that was predicted and is currently claimed happened. I mean, it's even though millions of people died and the economy was completely disrupted, we've managed to come out of it strong. And I think that's what the point of that is that, the sun rises just like the sun sets, I guess is the point.
I got to tell you, Michael, during that lockdown, I was blessed with the opportunity to talk to a lot of singer-songwriters that didn't know what to do or where to grow. And to have those interviews during that moment, because I think the music today is far greater than it was before the lockdown, because it gave people the opportunity to explore, to grow, to do different things in their lives, and then bring it to the fans?
Yeah, well, that's, I felt an obligation to write about it. I mean, it felt like this, I mean, really, literally hundreds of thousands of people were dying every week. It's astonishing that we could go through that and they could arise so quickly and recede and leave us with, what could have been, total wreckage. I think we all have good lives, or at least the potential for good lives.
So how do you take all that you've experienced, because I look at you as being a silent wolf, somebody who stands on the sidelines, you view the world, you teach the world. But how do you take all of those experiences and put it in a 4-minute song? It's like, Michael, that's a wordsmith.
I love... songs are, I grew up with, the time I was coming up in the 60s and 70s, that's the heyday. That was when everything changed, suddenly a song could be about anything. And in stuff that was, thorny but important, you could write songs about. The Beatles and Dylan, all those guys, they found their voice in the studio. I was just intoxicated with the notion that you could take a tape recorder and just work it and work it and work it and build something that didn't exist. And, the recording studios give you the opportunity to expand your reach so much, that,
Wow.
I feel like I'm gassing here, but...
So where can people go to find out more about Michael Ward with Dogs and Fishes?
Well, there's some stuff online. We got, there's a bunch of videos. Literature, I'm not sure there's much literature out there, but certainly I have, a whole bunch of music out there that people can check out. And website, Michael Ward with Dogs and Fishes, a bunch of tunes on there. I don't even think you have to pay for them last time I looked.
Well, dude, you've got to come back to this show anytime in the future, because I love your story and I love the way that you're bringing your heart to the music.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Will you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Okay, well, thank you very much.